please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Ann Kirshner.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The meeting of the Park Board of the City of Connersville, Indiana is now in session. Please turn your cell phone ringers off. Roll call.
Ann Kirshner,
Here.
Jenny Barrett,
Present.
Jeff Cooley,
Here.
Scott Kiefaber,
Here.
Sharon McQueen,
Here.
Bane Lashwa.
Here.
Have reading of the minutes of the June 24th, 2019 meeting. Do I have any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion passed. Under new business, first we have 2019 Fayette County Free Fair contract.
And we basically have the same contract that we did last year. The only main difference is because of the new lighting that's been installed in the amphitheater, thanks to the Bicentennial Committee. We have a large new control board that we have to use, which is going to require our amphitheater contract to change a little bit. It's going to cost us money to have people come in and run it. So I did discuss that with Ted, and he said that they do not need any lighting. So that's why on the second page it's highlighted that they declined. I just wanted to note that in the contract because, you know, that will require additional staffing if they needed somebody for lighting. But other than that, I think everything remained the same as last year.
Does anybody have any additional questions about the contract? Okay, I need a motion.
I'll motion to accept it. I'll second.
Having a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion passed. Okay, next we have Roberts Park Amphitheater.
I was looking for feedback from the board. A couple ladies on the Bicentennial Committee have been working with a donor who'd like to remain anonymous for now, for sound equipment for the amphitheater in Roberts Park. And we discussed potentially naming the amphitheater in the donor's name for a period of time. I need to talk with David Butch as well as to if that's legal and those things, but I wanted to know from the board's opinion, are you okay with that? Just general thoughts.
So a new sound system.
It would be upwards of $30,000 to buy what we need, and it's also it's called a stacking system, so it can be transported. So we could also use it at the amphitheater at River's Edge or, you know, downtown, different venues. But the gift would be enough to where we wondered if naming was a possibility, even for 3 years or 5 years or whatever.
Could we just get a plaque that says?
Yeah, we could just do a plaque.
Sound system courtesy of.
Sounds good to me.
We've done it before at the Wise Center and Meisner Auditorium both. So it's something that certainly not out of the realm of something that the city and the county hasn't done before, so. And I don't know that Robert E. Wise ever gave us any money for the auditorium, but being a rather famous person, and certainly Meisner was historically important, so somebody wants to give us that amount of money, I think we ought to give them some recognition for that, because that's expensive system, and it'll improve, it'll be an improvement for everything.
Yeah. Okay, well, I can, continue to look into that opportunity then.
Okay, next we have, Ruby Seiler.
Hello, everybody. I think I about know everybody. What I'm here for is put a railing down the amphitheater in the main, when you walk in the door there, put like a piece there in the middle, and it'll take you all the way down, and to, like, put a post there, put another post, and then hook onto the main thing that holds the building up, and continue that down there. And I think if we got that, that would help people come to it, and they would hold on to it. Oh, okay. Here's what I was talking about. You start it up to the top, and you build the first one up there where you pay. You build the first one right there, and then put another down, and then hook one onto the post. And go all the way down with it. And I think people could set, that you go either side of it. You know, whichever one you want to go, you wouldn't have to go on both main place. You go either place you want to sit down there. And I think it would bring more people to the amphitheater to see horse races and stuff. Because a lot of older people can't get down them steps.
Yeah, but there's no handrail.
What?
There's no handrails.
No, there's no handrails.
Doing a handrail all the way down.
Uh-huh. Do it all the way down.
We might make it sectional, in sections, so that you'll see a friend on that side, you don't have to go all the way down or duck under the,
Well,
maybe every
you
10
could leave a
rows.
little space in that.
That's what I mean, every 10 rows or so, you still
Yeah, uh-huh,
do this.
yeah. But that way, even side, you could go either way you want to set.
Oh, yeah.
And it would fill it in, because a lot of people like to sit by the outside wall. And this way, everybody would have wherever they want to sit. And it'd be easier for kids to get up and older people. And I think it'd bring more people to town to watch these things, horse shows and things, and horse races. And we're going to talk to McComb. I'm going to try to meet him tomorrow and see what kind of price he'll give me. And if it's good, I may go all the way with it. If not, I'll do a section.
My only issue with this is that if you put a handrail in anything like that, it has to be ADA compliant. And that's exactly why we don't have one in the Spartan Bowl.
Well, don't the Spartan Bowl, they had talked about that before. They had to do the whole thing.
No, but what I'm saying is ADA says you can't do just one. Okay? In other words, and believe me, we've gone over this and over this and
Yeah.
over this in the other context. What I'm saying is, if ADA says in the Spartan Bowl we can't do just one, then if ADA said we had to do this on, I can understand on the two outside parts, but if we had to do one down the middle, we would run into exactly the same problems that we run in with the Spartan Bowl. So I think we'd have to check with the Americans with Disabilities to see if we could just put one or two of those things, one on each of the open sides, because I don't know if you can get by with one and be ADA
Well, open
compliant.
sides ain't gonna help the deal, because everybody wants to go down that main thing.
So you're looking at just doing the center, not the
Yes,
sides?
doing the same. I think Newcastle was thinking about doing that too, but
Yeah,
they
and
had to do the whole thing.
they couldn't do it.
But I think by being outside, it might make a difference.
I can
I-
look into it.
Yeah, because the stickler here is the ADA compliance, because the steps have to be at a certain pitch. There has to be enough space on each side of the bar. It's,
So having, handicap seating at the top isn't,
handicap seating at the top is fine. It's the handrails that
right,
cause.
but I mean, that doesn't qualify it as being, compliant then.
No,
It has to be, okay.
no. If you wanna put a handrail in,
Yeah.
that's considered part of, that falls under the ambit of ADA. And so that has to be ADA compliant.
But I think if it would help tremendous if you put it at the main gate and they go down.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm one of those old people that has trouble getting down the
Well,
steps.
that's why they don't have anybody there, because they cannot walk.
Well, let me check into those issues.
Okay.
And then we can
Yeah.
go from there.
But it shouldn't be that expensive. And I'll see what it is, and I may donate the first section, and I'll get other people to donate.
That's why I liked Ruby's idea. She came in this morning and she said, I have an idea and I'm willing to pay for it. So
Good.
I like those ideas.
I hope we can get, I hope because it is an outside venue that we don't run
Yeah.
into the same issues that we ran into with the bowl.
Yeah.
I think it
That's a
would be
good point.
more compliant.
Right,
You know,
right.
like
that would make it more
A handrail
safe.
would help more people
No, but they don't
access
think-
it,
they don't
so I
think
don't
that way.
understand.
No, they don't think that way.
Yeah, but
Well, wouldn't
don't know.
Macomb know more too about that?
Probably not about that.
Okay,
particular thing.
did they not put a rail down there at the bottom where they're having their
That was
program?
for the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did put a railing around the stage, so
But that-
people wouldn't fall off
Yeah.
the back.
That's
Yeah.
a whole
Back
other.
Well, maybe he'll look at it the same way. People won't fall there, Because the steps are built so funny anyway,
they
You
are
got that
really
much
wide.
room.
Yeah.
By the time you take 2 steps, then you're down,
Oh, I agree with you 100%. It's just that when the school board looked at doing the thing with the bowl, it was a nightmare.
Well, I think that's why they don't have anybody come to the basketball game, because a lot of people would go see their
Well,
grandkids
we
play.
can tear, the thing of it is, to make the bowl ADA compliant, we gotta tear up the bowl.
Oh, I know that, yes. But there is no tearing up on this here.
We hope.
Well, all they have to do is run their pipes, down and drill them in and down.
I wish
I've seen it done before.
No, I wish it were that simple. I really do. But we found out when we investigated the other thing that it was not that simple. And if it's not ADA compliant, then they could it could be a real nightmare.
Well, if it isn't, it isn't, but we
Okay.
can,
I
it won't hurt
hope,
to
I
try.
hope it is.
Outstanding idea.
Outstanding idea.
Well, isn't though the spot and bowl, didn't they want to just do sections at a time, little sections?
No.
They want to do the whole gym, but they want to do,
No, we wanted to do one section and we were
Yeah,
told
I
we
know that.
couldn't do that.
Newcastle tried it first.
Yeah, and then they
didn't
got
work.
themselves in a little hot water with that. So,
Yeah.
So I hope so. I hope because it's an outside venue and it
May have different rules.
may have different rules. But that's something before we would go forward, because if we're not ADA.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to do it if it's not,
Yeah.
not supposed to be done. But if it could be done, I would like to see that done, because we have a lot of people
Oh,
who would
yeah.
go there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not ADA compliant now. That's the,
No, but it,
Where them steps is, that's not compliant to nothing.
no,
To
but
kill yourself.
find
that's,
rules.
that's a when you make
Right.
when we make,
Yeah.
if we made a
We
significant
changed it.
change to that, we would have to make it upgraded to be ADA compliant.
Well, I'd like to see what they turn out
Yeah.
to do, and,
Yeah.
and I'm sure I'll have some response on that.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I hope that the rules are much more flexible and we can do that, because I get it. There's things are very difficult to walk up and down.
So, and I think that would bring more people to our town,
Oh, I
and more people to
agree.
see things. Because I know when they had the delegation there, a lot of people couldn't go down there, they wanted to, but they couldn't,
No.
so.
We'll look
That's
into
what I'm
it and
here
get
for.
some answers.
All right,
Thank
but
you.
I will meet him tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, thanks, Ruby.
Okay, superintendent's report.
The revenue for June was $54,650.35, and expenditures for June and July was $163,604.85. They're on your monthly report if there are any questions.
questions? Looks good. Pool admissions looks really good. It's a lot
It's been
in
hot.
concessions. Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
hot.
but that was June.
Well, there
This
were
is
a lot,
just-
there were,
This is June when it.
but there were a lot of private
No.
parties booked too.
Yeah, the pool
and
parties have
that's-
been very
That's
good.
separate too, so it's still. I'm a little surprised because June was not the most favorable weather.
And it wasn't this year, it was cold.
Yeah, it was
Like,
rainy a
Mhm.
lot, and still we still look good on that, so, good. I need a motion to accept the superintendent's report.
I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion passed. And then next we have the sports and recreation director's report. Dennis, do you have anything to?
Just pretty much, I think it was mentioned last time, I'm not 100% sure, but, because I wasn't here, but.
just an update on Church League.
Yeah, okay. Church League is looking at a couple of weeks left, and that one will be over. But then we will have Fall League softball starting up with a deadline of sign-ups as August 2nd.
On a second for machine pitch.
And fall soccer is deadline of August 16th. So I believe those were mentioned last meeting. And just keep an update on that for all the people that actually watches the Channel 3, that they can still.
Well, it's also on the sign, which is really nice.
Yeah. Oh, they're advertised everywhere.
Yeah,
so
but
it's-
if the sign there, when you come into the park, it says and that's really, really good. Because people sometimes they don't read the paper or hear things, but that thing, you get stopped at that stop sign or stoplight, and
yeah,
you read it.
yeah, that's right. Just looking for something to
Yeah,
while they're sitting there.
yeah.
But other than that, that's it for the sports right now.
Good.
Thank you.
In old business, we have city-sponsored events.
Well, I made some progress toward that, not as much as I was intending to by this meeting. I was able to connect with the Indiana Parks and Recreation Department. It's a really great resource for superintendents, and have started networking and using that organization as a tool. And I was able to, they have a database of all the superintendents in Indiana, and was able to send my question out. And I got, I think, 19 responses, and I haven't read them all yet. But the ones I've read have been pretty interesting, just the ways that they're different and the same. Some of the ideas were they always give it for free if it's a fundraiser. Some were we give one event a year for free, everything else is full price. So between now and the next meeting, I need to get through all those responses. I had said I would work with Ann to kind of go through what all those ideas are, and maybe we can come up with what we would like to do. I do know that we offer somewhat of a discounted rate right now as far as the Miller Building and the Roberts Building go. But you know, I'd really just need a little bit more time to get through all those responses and benchmark what other people are doing. So I'll have something out to you guys before we meet again, and then we can maybe make a motion on a direction.
We just need to get a more consistent and more clear policy.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I know doesn't help us with the next item on the agenda at all, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, moving on to item B, 2020 Armed Forces Parade, and you have a list here. So he has cut back on what he's asking for.
Yes.
He cut way back.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, way back.
And as far as we know, this would be the agenda for the weekend.
So he's sure that these are the venues that he's going to need.
This is what we would work from, yeah. This is what we'd have to stick to.
Well, this total's definitely a lot better. I think it's easier for us to work with as well as if they need to get sponsors. But I think that we do need to table it until we
Yeah.
finalize what we want to do for city-sponsored events.
I agree
So
with that.
next month, when we have an idea of what we want to do with that, then we can make a decision on this.
That amount, his new amount was a lot less.
Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely want to be able to work with him on whether we decide to make it 50% or 40% or whatever, and then have the rest covered by sponsorship. I think would be the most fair. So,
Do we have anything else scheduled in the two?
No, everything was free.
Everything was free?
We
Okay.
had, I think Erica had already marked out that weekend,
Okay,
okay.
so.
okay. Because that's a really busy time of year.
It is, the Miller Center concerns me, you know, because I know we would rent the Miller Center out. The amphitheater, probably not, but the Miller Center,
Right.
all those, the buildings and the shelters, we would definitely rent out. We don't have any problem renting those facilities.
Yeah, all of those buildings are used on weekends.
In the spring at that time of
In
year.
the spring, yeah.
Yeah, that time of year.
Yeah. Whether you
But
have
the
baby showers, bridal showers,
Yeah.
yard sales.
But the amphitheater is really the most expensive.
It is, yeah.
Part of it, so maybe we could work with him somewhere that way.
Mhm.
That,
That's what I was thinking at least.
yeah, that,
On that.
that.
Yep.
Cause that's 2/3 of the expense right there.
Mhm.
Little more than 2/3 of it.
Right.
And if this is gonna become an annual event, it might be a good I mean, I don't know if it'd be the policy, but, you know, if it is going to be annual, to say, kinda like we do the fair, do we have a contract for
Right.
a event of this size
Right.
that does happen every year?
Mhm.
That way we just know it's coming and we know what's booked and,
Well, and that protects them and it protects us also.
yeah.
So they don't want the Roberts building?
Mm-mm. No, this was the list that I went over with Adrian on the phone.
And this is the one I got from him, so it's the same thing.
Okay. Is everybody okay with tabling this until next month?
Yeah.
I don't think we need a motion for that.
I so move.
Second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion passed to table that until next meeting. Work list.
I was just gonna point out a few things on here. The nickel plate extension is complete as far as what the park can do. It's cut out, has gravel down. The next step is, laying sidewalk and the paving. But that's gonna take quite a bit of money, and so where we are right now is, getting quotes on the paving. We have quotes for the sidewalk, but figuring out where we're going to seek that money from. We've done a lot of landscaping. I don't know if you're watching Facebook, but we are trying to beautify the parks as much as we can. We're mostly concentrating on Roberts Park this month because of the fair, which has put a stall on mulching the trails at Smalley's. That's the first time they're ever going to be mulched. We are using the mulch from the transfer station, and we're going to mulch all those trails. We got to start on it the end of June, and then fair is coming, so we've delayed that one for a little bit. We are going to be paving the road by the pool. That will happen either tomorrow or Wednesday. So that's exciting, that
Yeah.
gravel road.
Right?
That's exciting.
Yes, we are really,
Finally.
the fair is just really lit a fire.
Well,
I
there you
mean, we
go.
are just, Steve has worked hard to, yeah, I don't know if you've noticed the giant pile of water that collects there by that road, but he has worked hard to try to fix that issue, as well as putting in 3 French drains. One by the Miller Building, one by the Liberty Building, and the other as you come in, the entrance, I call it 27th Street, Dunn's entrance, to get some of that standing water that looks terrible and is frustrating to park and walk through. So we're working on that. Pete and Randall have completed the small shelter, painting it, fixing boards. They've completed the tennis court shelter, and they've completed the covered bridge shelter. So all of those have been freshly painted. We're down to the Park Road shelter, which is probably going to require some masonry work. So the shelters are coming along really well. And then what was a small, it just says paint picnic tables. We painted 52 picnic tables. Pete and Randall, and I mean, so quite a bit of work has gotten done. I feel mowing has stayed on top of that. So I was just wanting to point some things out from this list. So
They've been working hard.
very hard, very, very hard. Every day.
It shows.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
It does look
And
good.
with the fair coming out, getting rid of those big puddles is wonderful.
Yeah, because it's just mosquitoes and gnats and
And little kids who love to walk in the mud.
yes. Yeah. It's like, why walk on the road when there's a mud puddle?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Are we, I see it's marked complete stump removal, but I was running through the park today. We're not totally finished with stump removal, are we?
no, there are still a few
Okay.
left.
I just wondered where we were on that. We.
Now the one, there was a stump.
Oh, you're not talking park-wide, you were talking a specific, okay.
That might have been a specific
Okay,
stump.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. But we're still.
But yeah, we still have a few left.
Okay, and we still budgeted, I think we budgeted last year, didn't we, to do
For
like a
trees.
and then,
Yeah.
okay. I wanted to make sure that, cause I was running through here and saw several, but, so we're not finished removing
No,
stumps, okay.
and unfortunately, there are more and more and more dead trees. It just never stops.
Yeah, yeah.
So several people have said to me, during Mike's time at the park, there was an agreement where there was a monthly contract between the park and a tree service. And so trees were trimmed and things cut down, and it was a monthly payment instead of these giant, $2,000 to take a
Right.
tree down at one time. So
It was like a maintenance agreement. then.
yeah. So I think that's definitely something I need to look into again. Every time I drive around, I see another dead tree.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're trying to get the one down by the pool right now, and they're trying to do it when the pool isn't busy, which is never. So they got most of the top of it off, so no limbs are going to fall. But that one was troublesome just because of its proximity to people. So
I had another idea,
Mhm.
that Dennis Good is working with kids in the, Discovery Campers. Does that sound familiar?
my Dennis Good?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. Unless he hasn't told me.
Well, maybe it's not your, anyway, the.
Dennis, somebody
what-
else maybe.
Well, one of the things that I like in parks and like to see is getting a way to identify the species of each of the trees. You know,
Uh-huh.
some of them are there. The donation plaques sometimes have something on it, but it'd really be, I think it'd be a good addition to the park to have all the trees. You know, this is a chestnut,
Yeah.
this is a maple, and so on. And I was just recently in Europe and noticed on their trails, they got every single tree has a little tag on it. Not necessarily the species, but it's a number, so then we could create a map and, do something like that. I think it'd be a nice addition to have it. And that,
Yeah.
Wasn't Gabe Nami
I'll
going
try
to
to
do
drive-
something about that?
I was just
We
thinking,
discussed this
we
before.
talked about this a couple of
We did.
years ago where Gabe was supposed to
I
be
can-
working, but I don't remember the details. It's been too long.
He
well,
was-
I'll try to
he
get
and-
something together.
His horticultural class was gonna come out and identify all
Yeah.
the trees and do all that,
Mm-hmm.
just what Dane's talking about. I can, if I
Now we are going to run fall discovery as well. We're going to run camp over fall break. So we could even do that project in the fall when it's fun to go out and look at, which
It'd be nice
leaves
to
have
get a
fallen.
synchronized, or
Mhm.
a good look, something that's consistent.
And Riley Loper has also contacted me. Her 4-H group is interested in a tree identification project.
That's
And
great.
we're gonna meet sometime in August after school gets going.
It could be a very low-cost type situation to
Yeah.
do. The kids would probably enjoy it.
I think the problem came about is that he did not have that horticultural class that year.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know that he still has, but I'll check and see.
I don't know where this goes on the list too. I was at the pool, a couple of times, and the refreshment stand, this is operational, this is not anything else, but you go swimming and you get your bare feet and you walk up to through the cement, across the cement to the refreshment stand, and it is just impossible to stand there.
It's
So you-
hot.
It's very
Yeah.
hot, so I asked the people inside to spread some water out, for people up. But it might be nice to think about how we could make it a little more hospitable for the refreshments. And I didn't know whether to just take a 5-gallon bucket and throw some water on it every day, or what. And some days it's not hot, some days it's fine. But anyway, that's something operational that,
Yeah, the
Like-
easiest thing would just be to spray that sidewalk
Yeah.
down or sidewalk area down.
Yeah, so many times a day.
Mhm.
Or a little sprinkler off to the side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Nice
splash,
and
like the
soothing.
splash
Splash
pad.
No, just a nice little
We
sprinkle.
could say that we added on to the splash pad.
A little sprinkle.
There you go.
Or one of those garden hose types things that's got
Yeah.
all the,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
okay, that was a big duh for me, and it's a good idea.
Do we have anything else for the work list, Catherine?
No,
Looks good. Moving on to miscellaneous business. We could put the trees identifications are there. Which would be really great if we could get,
Well, it would be,
and it wouldn't have to be every tree, but
be another resource, because some of the science curriculums, they're changing all the science curriculums K through 8. And they're including a botany section, and I don't know what grade level it is, but they are including a botany section and horticulture section in that. So that could be a resource too. We could use it as a lab.
And other plants too, we could
Yeah.
include.
Well, with your school board connection, you know, if any classes would like to come out and do that as a project, that would be great.
I haven't
I
seen.
don't know if they're allowed to.
Yeah, they are. I haven't seen the details of the new curriculum, knowing which grade level does what, but it gave us a pretty general idea of what's gonna be covered in the, and it's basically a very hands-on curriculum, so this would be something that would, fit well.
Yeah.
And I have no clue as to what grade level, but it would fit very, very well into it. I know out at Everton, they piloted part of it, and they had, they made gardens. They did the little gardens, and the kids really enjoyed that. So, I can look on the, see what grade levels are doing that. But that would be, anytime you can get anything like that, where the kids can do something like that hands-on, that's really a good deal. And in our own area too, you know, identify what, we took the kids down to Brookville Lake, there by Quake, where you, across the causeway that's closed now, with that whole wall, and we had them looking for fossils. And they had no idea that that was there, and they really had a good time, really enjoyed it.
Okay, claims including payroll.
Is that me, Jen?
Yeah. Yes. I think we're looking
Everything's pretty standard.
pretty good, yeah. Office supplies is running low. Purple chemicals, but, I mean, have you purchased pretty much everything you need for the year, or are we gonna have to move money for that one?
We're gonna have to move some stuff around, or I can, take it out of, the restricted pool. Just today I had to purchase, an enzyme, that will hopefully help, improve the clarity of the water
Yeah, it's
at the
been
pool.
okay.
It hasn't been I don't wanna say it's been a bad year, because we've been able to manage every instance that's come up, but there's been several things that have come up this year with the pool, so we're just taking them one by one, so.
And that's to be expected, anytime you have a pool.
Yeah.
And with the extremely hot weather we've had,
Yeah,
Went
the
from
enzyme,
rainy
the
to
5
really
gallons of
hot.
this enzyme was $222,
Wow.
yeah, so.
pools are expensive.
It is, but
But really, well, we're only running for 2 more weeks, well, this week and then.
right, and then we'll go to
the
just
next 2
weekends,
weeks
and
then
then,
just weekends.
so, there's a end coming to the pool expenses, so.
Have you ever, have we, I think we should look at trying to open, I don't know if it's even possible, but opening 1 or 2 days through the week in the afternoons, even if it's just for 3 hours, like 3 to 6. And I know you have, like, a lot of your lifeguards are your teenagers, but I don't know, just for my thinking, like, okay, we go back to school August 7th. You have the entire month of August, and, you know, if the kids are getting out of school 2:30, elementary teachers get out at 3:15.
High school kids get out at 3:45.
Well,
Right.
the problem is my 2 pool managers, go to college, so so
Yeah.
they're gonna go back to school. And that leaves Amy.
Who
Um,
goes back to school?
So,
Goes back to
and
school.
Amy's in school, in a different way.
Yeah.
So that would be the issue there with,
Right.
I would have like guards maybe, but I wouldn't have managers.
Most of the high school guards start quitting before school even starts. It becomes a problem at the very end.
Yeah.
They're out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they cover with some of the college students that are left over, but those are few and far between as well, so.
And by mid-August, the college kids are gone too.
Yeah.
It would be nice, but staffing is just
A real issue.
big.
Which I figured was the main
Yeah.
issue, but, well, I guess people still do pool parties though, during the week, in August, right?
Once schools,
I don't
no,
think so.
no.
I think it's just open on the weekends
Just open on the
after
weekends.
school starts.
School starts very early.
7.
Too early. Thank you.
It's too early, like, it's just too early, but that's not our fault.
No.
That's your other board.
I trust me, I don't like it.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept claims including payroll?
All motion to accept claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carried. And next we have public forum. Anybody else wanna say anything? No? Okay, so do we have a motion to?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Was that thing?
Yes, it was.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carried, adjourned.